Imagine living in a country where Bangkok houses 25% of Thailand's entire population, or where Montevideo contains nearly half of all Uruguayans. Picture a capital so dominant that every major corporation, university, museum, and government institution concentrates within its boundaries, leaving provincial cities struggling in its shadow. This is dystopian fiction. This is the daily reality for hundreds of millions of people worldwide living in what geographers call primate cities, urban giants that fundamentally reshape entire nations. These metropolitan powerhouses don't merely host large populations, they concentrate wealth, opportunity, and political influence in ways that create profound ripple effects throughout their countries. From the elegant boulevards of Vienna to Bangkok's sprawling megacity, certain urban centers have grown so disproportionately large that they've become synonymous with their nations themselves. Before we explore this fascinating phenomenon, make sure to subscribe to the World Documentaries, hit that like button, and turn on notifications so you never miss our deep dives into the geographic patterns shaping our world. Understanding primate cities. What transforms an ordinary capital into a primate city? The distinction extends far beyond simple population statistics. A true primate city dominates its country not just demographically but economically, culturally, and politically, often containing the national government, major corporations, premier universities, leading museums, and influential media outlets all concentrated within one metropolitan area. This creates an almost irresistible magnetic pull, drawing ambitious individuals from across the nation seeking better opportunities and brighter futures. Consider Bangkok, Thailand's sprawling capital, as a quintessential example. This megacity houses over 17 million people in its metropolitan region, representing 25% of Thailand's entire population. The city contributes nearly half of the nation's gross domestic product, making it an economic powerhouse whose influence touches every corner of Thai society. While Bangkok has historically been called the world's most extreme primate city, recent decades have seen some rebalancing, with Chiang Mai growing significantly, though Bangkok still remains approximately 9 times larger, maintaining its overwhelming dominance in national affairs. The pioneer, Mark Jefferson's discovery. Our understanding of primate cities originated with Mark Jefferson, an American geographer teaching at Eastern Michigan University in the early 20th century. In an era without internet databases, satellite imagery, or standardized international statistics, Jefferson embarked on an extraordinary quest to understand why certain nations developed these dominant urban centers, while others maintained more balanced city systems. His research required tremendous effort, traveling across continents, gathering data city by city, making international phone calls to compile information that today requires merely seconds of online searching. Jefferson published his groundbreaking paper, The Law of the Primate City, in 1939, establishing a framework that would influence urban geography for generations. He developed an elegant measurement system, assigning each country's largest city the value of 100, then expressing the second and third largest cities as percentages of that primate city's population. Austria emerged as his most extreme example. Vienna scored 100, while Graz registered merely 8 and Linz just 6, revealing an urban hierarchy so steep it seemed almost incomprehensible. These numbers demonstrated that Austria's provincial cities were tiny fractions of its imperial capital. The global distribution. Jefferson's pioneering research revealed fascinating continental patterns. Denmark ranked second in his analysis, showing significant primacy, while Hungary and the United Kingdom also demonstrated strong primate tendencies, reflecting their capital cities' historical importance. Interestingly, Asian nations presented contrasting pictures. China showed relatively balanced urban distribution even then, as did India with its multiple major cities spread across vast geography. The United States displayed a relatively flat urban hierarchy, with New York, Chicago, and Philadelphia forming a distributed top tier rather than one dominant center. Today's comprehensive global data reveals both evolution and persistence in these patterns. Bangkok remains among the world's most extreme primate cities, though recent growth in Chiang Mai has reduced the ratio from 40:1 in 2000 to approximately 9:1 today. Costa Rica demonstrates strong primacy, with San Jose's metropolitan area of 1.5 million dwarfing all other urban centers. Small island nations often show extreme primacy simply because geographic and economic constraints make supporting multiple major cities practically impossible. Limited land area and population naturally concentrate resources in one location. Colonial legacy in Latin America. Perhaps the most significant pattern in primate city development emerges from examining former European colonies, particularly throughout Latin America. Countries including Argentina, Chile, Cuba, Haiti, Jamaica, Nicaragua, Uruguay, and Peru all exhibit pronounced urban primacy, a legacy tracing directly to colonial administration. European colonizers deliberately concentrated power, infrastructure, and economic activity in single cities, serving as logistical hubs for extracting resources and shipping them to European markets. These colonial capitals housed administrators, military garrisons, and local elites collaborating with imperial powers. Following independence movements across Latin America, the physical infrastructure and entrenched power dynamics established during colonial centuries didn't simply disappear overnight. Local elites inheriting power maintained their positions in these dominant cities, perpetuating wealth and opportunity concentration. Urban primacy became physical manifestation of consolidated power, spatial expression of inequality, where glittering capitals offered opportunity while rural countrysides languished in poverty and powerlessness. Recent decades show encouraging shifts. However, Argentina, Peru, and Uruguay have witnessed decreasing primacy numbers as economic development spreads more evenly in secondary cities, gain importance and capability in national economies. Africa's urban transformation. The African continent shares similar colonial origins for its primate cities but faces more complex contemporary dynamics. Many African capitals developed under European colonial rule as administrative centers and ports for resource extraction. Cities like Lagos, Nairobi, and Kinshasa grew as colonial command centers, with infrastructure and opportunity concentrated in ways deliberately marginalizing other regions. These patterns created lasting geographic inequalities persisting decades after independence movements swept the continent, leaving deep scars on spatial development. However, Africa currently experiences the world's most rapid urbanization, with demographic projections suggesting the continent will soon host many of Earth's largest cities. This explosive urban growth affects primacy contradictorily in countries like Nigeria. Lagos continues growing faster than other urban centers, increasing dominance. Conversely, nations with multiple emerging cities see primacy declining as economic activity and population distribute more evenly across the urban system. This transformation represents one of humanity's most significant demographic shifts, carrying profound implications for infrastructure planning, political representation, economic development, and environmental sustainability across the entire continent. The European exception. Europe presents fascinating case studies in urban primacy, with historical empires leaving permanent imprints on contemporary city hierarchies. Vienna and Budapest remain disproportionately large relative to their countries' current populations, magnificent architectural monuments to former roles as capitals of vast multinational empires. These cities once governed territories spanning multiple modern nations, accumulating wealth, culture, and infrastructure continuing to attract people centuries later. Their grandeur reflects not merely current economic dynamics but historical accidents of imperial geography and political power. The Soviet Union's collapse and Yugoslavia's dissolution created new primate cities almost instantaneously. Armenia, Georgia, Latvia, and Serbia, once constituent parts of larger federal states, suddenly found their principal cities transformed into national capitals. Yerevan, Tbilisi, Riga, and Belgrade shifted overnight from regional centers within multinational states to primate cities, dominating newly independent countries. This transition happened without gradual development characterizing most primate cities, instead resulting from political boundaries redrawn through nationalist movements. These instant primates demonstrate how political geography can immediately reshape urban hierarchies, creating dominance through administrative decree rather than organic economic evolution. The complexity of concentration. Why does seemingly everyone in certain countries live in one dominant city? The answer, like most geographic phenomena, resists simple explanations. Country size matters. Significantly smaller nations naturally struggle supporting multiple major urban centers given limited land, population, and economic resources. Colonial history matters. Profoundly concentration of power and infrastructure during imperial centuries creates path dependencies lasting generations. Political boundaries matter. Critically, how nations are drawn determines whether cities compete within unified systems or operate as separate national capitals with distinct spheres of influence. Understanding primate cities offers limited practical guidance for urban planners working within these dominant metropolises day to day. While the concept helps conceptualize how cities function within national economies and cultures, it doesn't predict future trends or guide policy decisions with precision. What this framework reveals, however, is how concentration of wealth, opportunity, and culture simultaneously drives impressive economic growth while perpetuating deep geographic inequality. The flows and concentrations of human populations tell compelling stories about power structures, historical legacies, and intricate ways societies organize themselves spatially across landscapes. Thank you for joining the World Documentaries for this exploration of primate cities and the forces shaping urban geography worldwide. If you found this investigation fascinating, we have dozens more videos examining geographic patterns shaping human civilization. Do you live in or near a primate city? How does population and power concentration affect your daily experiences and your country's political dynamics? We'd genuinely love hearing perspectives from around the globe. Share your experiences and thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and activate that notification bell so you can continue discovering hidden patterns in world geography with us.